Hello everyone and welcome to Metroid Prime Trilogy, part of my Metroid retrospective series. Metroid Prime Trilogy is, quite obviously by the name alone, a compilation of the first three Prime games, or technically the main Prime games, because there was Metroid Prime Hunters and Metroid Prime Pinball, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna even cover those yet. This cinematic of the inside of Samus's cannon is exclusive to Metroid Prime Trilogy, but I think it's the only thing that is exclusive to this. There might be some bonus content through the gallery or stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I'm playing this through the Wii U eShop, therefore through a Wii U, which means I'm recording in HD, but not doing like a hack version where I can have some HD textures or something like that. Got the single player, the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes multiplayer, which is not online and kind of pointless because it's not even that deep or even fair. But I might try to showcase it if I can. I actually only have one nunchuck, so I'm not even sure if I can showcase the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes multiplayer. We got a bunch of extras here. Friend vouchers and WeConnect 24. WeConnect 24 is offline, and friend vouchers is about sharing that through a friend that you got on the Wii system. So can't do that unless I hack the game. But if I hack the game, I might as well just unlock all the gallery stuff doing that instead of putting myself online or something like that. So yeah, we're limited in showcasing everything in this trilogy. Quite unfortunate too. But we can play all three Metroid Prime games with Wii controls, and that's good. Although some people didn't like how actually, isn't there a hyper mode difficulty? I guess you might only unlock it after you beat the game once. Whoops. Anyway, some people don't like how they use the PAL variant of Metroid Prime for the trilogy re-release. Or release, whatever. Because of that, you can't sequence break as much as you could as the original North American release of Metroid Prime. Like original version 1.0. Anyway, unidentified distress beacon has been tracked to a derelict space vessel in orbit above Talon 4. This is an amazing cinematic. Well, it's not CGI, but this scene is super cool. Like, it's super simple, and yet it's incredibly memorable. The music helps a lot, too. Like, in this day and age, the view of Talon 4 in the background isn't that impressive, but back in 2002, it was something else. Well, unless you were a PC gamer, I guess. But for a Nintendo console, to have a game like this, that seemed unreal, you know? And it kind of is, because this was a Metroid game developed by a Western studio for the first time. But of course it was only like the fourth or fifth, depending on your interpretation, Metroid game, so it's not that surprising in hindsight, anyway. Once again, I'm playing this through the Wii U Virtual Console, which means we're going to be seeing Wii graphics, and even though I'm recording through my HD Elgato game capture card, it's not going to look as impressive as some other games do. It's aged very well for its time, though. You don't really need HD textures to enjoy Metroid Prime. Seriously. I suppose Samus's suit could have used a slight update, though. There are several close-ups that really kind of show that the texture for her suit is a little underwhelming. But it's not that bad. Now, unfortunately, there are some graphical effects that weren't possible to maintain or keep for the trilogy re-release. So, in some aspects, the trilogy re-release is inferior graphically to the original GameCube version. But the enhanced controls are worth it, if you ask me. If I could also... I could have played the original GameCube variant, but I wouldn't be able to record through my Elgato game capture card. I would have to use my old game capture card that's not as good. Oh, some detractors don't like this. Scanning. You do a lot of scanning in the Prime games. All of them. Except Pinball, I guess. Like, if any of you have played not Metroid Prime, I wanted to hit the asteroid. Go on. Yeah, I think I hit it. You can destroy them. That's cool. If any of you have played another Metroid 2 remake, there's scanning that game, but it's all automatic. And yet, you can tell that it was something that was influenced by Metroid Prime, well, Metroid Prime, you know? I think I'm gonna adjust the controls real quick, if I can. That's the map. And this is the controls. So we're gonna go into options. Yes, we want advanced. Because advanced makes it so that I can move and look around faster. It's a little more confusing for people watching this online or through my YouTube account or something. At least that's what I heard from Slow Beef's Let's Play of Metroid Prime 3. So sorry if it's a little too fast for some of you. I like how you have to go through this setup to depressurize the air before you go into the spaceship. Kind of partially shows that the people who made this game did their research. I actually don't know if I want to do a ton of scanning. It's going to really slow down this playthrough, unfortunately. But Metroid Prime is a game that you really need to slow down and enjoy, you know? Also, when you destroy some enemies, you get some graphical effects that appear on your helmet. Super cool. Unknown. High levels of radiation detected. I wonder why. Ugly parasites that are feeding on space pirate carcasses. Yep. The space pirates look a bit different than the ones we're used to seeing. Instead of looking like giant space crabs of sorts, they look more like generic... well, you know those Halo creatures? They look like generic that. Because, you know, it's a Western developer and therefore Western artists and stuff. But they're not that bad looking, if you ask me. In fact, there's a design later on that is actually really, really good and memorable. But admittedly, the generic design is, well, generic. Anyway, morph ball tutorial right here. Yay! Time for a map download. I don't know how this works, but like this game did take a lot of inspiration from Super Metroid. So Samus using her arm cannon to download stuff is an artifact of that. Also, we can see the planet in the background. So cool. This is why you go into this place. To see the planet in the background, not to get the map. Incidentally, this is all optional, what we did here. And that's good. It should be optional. Now, let's talk more about Metroid Prime's development. It was originally supposed to be fully third person, because that's what Retro Studios wanted to do, but Miyamoto actually came in and suggested that they make the game first person. One of Miyamoto's better suggestions, people will say. But of course, not everyone agrees with what Miyamoto says, and he's not the one who made the game, so I think we need to give credit to Retro Studios themselves, the old team anyway. Ow! Doesn't hurt that much. After playing Samus Returns, the Metroid 2 remake, this is nothing actually. In Samus Returns, the minimum damage is like 15 in the beginning, which is quite a lot. And in the end of the game, you face enemies that deal like 3 energy tanks worth of damage or something. Anyway, Space Pirate right there. There's also another one right there that seems to be limping. Severe internal damage detected while he's limping. Also, he detected us. They can't shoot at us. Well, some of them. Or, no, all of them, actually. Except the dead ones. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff we could read right here. However, most people will probably want me to only check the icons that are red. The important ones. Oh yeah, this thing is animated. This thing right here. It's gonna come up later, I think. Assuming it's the same one I'm thinking of. You can also see more stuff right here. All of the scans, or most of them in a way, were written up by one of Nintendo of America's people. I'm not sure who specifically, but they were written by, like, I want to say just one guy, perhaps a couple more, especially with revisions. But they're all very interesting. Just the problem is in the initial version, the one that people love to use to sequence break everything, the initial version of this game, there were a lot of inconsistencies in the story, unfortunately. It wasn't clear how this game was supposed to tie in with the main story of the Metroid franchise. And all of the inconsistencies were a little bothersome. Anyway, this is the important data that you have to download from, well, scan from this place, because you won't be able to go back here after you defeat the boss. The best has fallen. All ground personnel are presumed dead, either killed by the hunter clad in metal, or in the subsequent destruction of the underground facilities. Our research targets Orpheon, Syracuse, and Vol Paragon were in orbit at 0 hour and managed to retreat. Target Orpheon is now docked at Vortex Outpost. Orpheon's cargo appears to have a 100% survival rate. Metroids are healthy, but on restricted feeding schedules due to uncertain supply status. We are ready to begin research on the Metroids and other promising life forms. Security status remains at code blue. No signs of pursuit from the hunter. So yeah, this is a scan right here. It places this game directly after Metroid 1. Use down on the Wii. Like, I'm using the Wii controller right now, the Nunchuck plus Wiimote. You have to press down on the control pad to use your missiles. That is a little strange. Also, there was a scan right here that I could have checked out that would have shut off that turret. Unfortunately, it's not that useful. Also, you can scan pickups too. That's kind of lame, to be honest. Also, the game recommends that we use the scan visor for here. Parasite larva, harmless. Plasmite. These are all creatures where we'll be able to scan them later and get their proper entry. Also, that stupid thing from the first game. It actually has a scan. However, we never encounter it in the main game. Still, I don't like the stupid thing's design. Even the scan bothered me. I do like how they make it so that it's constantly trying to get out of its cell or containment field, whatever you want to call it. And you know, it's a nice touch that the Retro Studios back in 2002 thought to add that creature into the game, even if it is only through a scan. A very basic cameo. Hi. Bye. Yeah, one charge shot. Oh, okay. One charge up was enough for all of the pirates so far, but that one over there, that one's quite healthy because he only has minimal injuries. You know. I like how the game tells you maximum firepower is recommended. They tell you that for a good reason. Am I actually playing hard mode right now? Enemies don't seem to be dealing as much damage as they should. Well, I'm not playing the game a second time, just do hard mode, so... If this is like the original Metroid Prime's normal mode, well, I'm sorry to say that we'll be playing all the Prime games in their normal difficulties then. Yep, the Shriek Bat. That's also a classic Metroid enemy, but the design given to the Shriek Bat is kind of cool. Particularly the way they attack you in this game. Oh, hi. Didn't notice you there. Oh. One missile is good enough. B to jump. B on the Wiimote, and I think on the original GameCube controller too. Yeah, I can scan you. God, look at that picture of its intestines. Too humanoidish, if you ask me, but still. Back in 2002, you didn't expect to see this kind of stuff from Nintendo. such high science fiction. We're already almost done with this place. It's a little shorter than I remembered. Oh, hi. Yep, see? Not just one charge shot. It's a little bit more. Then, morph ball training. Again. I don't know how the pirates are supposed to open their own doors considering they don't have the morph ball technology. And I'm not saying that as a joke. It's actually pointed out in the scans later in the game that the pirates tried to replicate Samus's morph ball, and yet they had some quite catastrophic failures in their attempts. Yeah, you can. Those stains don't actually detect you until you've entered the room, but you can destroy them before you even like enter the room. So, kind of unfair. Death caused by acid burns to the face. Also a save station. God, these must be my favorite save stations in the entire franchise. Even compared to the other Prime games. I just love the combination of sound effects and special effects all together. Makes me really nostalgic, you know? That's why I didn't talk over the after doing the save sequence. Struggle to get through this door. Death caused by severe lacerations. Partially eaten. Death caused by cranial trauma. No, I didn't need to scan all these space pirates, but you know, it's fun to check how they died, even though it's probably all like the same model, copy-pasted over and over and over. The shtick is that these pirate corpses right here and over here are... Oh, come on. Did it really close? Seriously? These space pirate corpses here and over there are all there just to tell you, oh, there's something dangerous beyond this place. And you don't need to scan them to know that. Okay, let's go. I could scan these too, but I think we get the idea. So there's a lot of things they screwed up lore-wise in the first release of Metroid Prime, but they did a tremendous job with Samus's suit. I think the only shtick about it is that her shoulder pads are a little too large. But everything else is amazing. Knocked it out of the park. Didn't misinterpret it at all. So that's the Parasite Queen, if I recall? Yeah, Parasite Queen. Parasite female, genetically enhanced by unknown means. Phase on. A weak spot has been detected in this creature's mouth. Use your auto-targeting to acquire this new target. Yeah, see, if I had not scanned this queen, she, like, every time I would try to target her, it would only, it would auto-aim to her stomach instead of her mouth. Now it's gonna auto-aim to her mouth instead. Of course, this is all pointless considering I've got the Wii controls, but you know. Scans indicate the presence of protein mutagen, origins unknown. Its phase on. Creature exhibits the ability to fire weapon-grade blasts of energy from its mouth, a trait not present in the standard parasite genome. It appears the pirates have begun a bioengineering program with considerable results. So that's foreshadowing for what you're about to do. You know, in this game. What you're about to deal with. And the shields around the Parasite Queen right now is basically to make this boss fight challenging. And yes, I do think I'm actually playing the original Metroid Prime normal mode. And the other difficulty that's called normal is actually like a new easy mode. But the Parasite Queen was never that tough, let's be honest. Yep, dead. Achievement unlocked. Unique to Metroid Prime Trilogy, in case you're wondering. The original game did not have any achievements.
Evacuate immediately.
Yes, we must evacuate immediately. We have 8 minutes to do that. Sorry, 7 minutes. It feels like 8, is what I'm trying to say. People who are not used to the controls might have trouble escaping though, so that it's understandable why they give you so much time. Just, you can escape really quickly if you're really good. Anyway, there's still some turrets over there, so... Turret was up there. I disabled it before it appeared. Oh gosh, what's going on here? Ooh! Looks like everyone got messed up. Small energy, 10 units. Creature is deceased. Incubation period was prematurely terminated. Its shell was not fully hardened. These are, like, y'all see the small parasites that I killed in the beginning? Those parasite queens are like enlarged forms of those things. I actually only realized that while starting this playthrough. It's kind of goofy. I should use my missiles more often. Like, I've got 15. Might as well use them. Now we're going through here, and it'd be faster if we use Morphball, so let's use Morphball. I haven't used Morphball enough, honestly. There's a lot of momentum involved while using your Morphball. And those parasites deal barely any damage, like 0.10% of 1 energy every hit. Basically nothing, let's be honest. So don't feel too bad if you get caught by all the parasites, you won't die. Man, it's so fun to Morphball through this place. Seriously. Anyway, that was loading, courtesy of Retro Studios. They did a great job with the loading in this game, actually. Like, seriously, it's very immersive, opening these doors, and you have to wait the longer the game has to load, but it doesn't feel like you're transitioning like you do in the 2D games or something like that, or if you're waiting for door closed, if you're waiting for a now loading screen or something like that. Instead, you just keep moving around in the room you're currently in and wait for the door to open, which is actually really it loading the other room. Loading in Metroid Prime 1 is very quick. Metroid Prime 2 is not too bad either. Metroid Prime 3 is where it started to show its age. I actually do wonder what they're going to do for Metroid Prime 4. Also, this thing looks dangerous. It can't kill you. Like, seriously. I don't even think it damages you. It just pushes you around. Oh, and one last thing. I'm actually not doing webcam recording right now. I actually really considered it. I decided not to. I didn't want to record myself over the first-person screen or even any of the cutscenes. Also, guess who this is? It's Ridley! Hiya, Samus! I'm meta now! Yeah, just a slow beef joke. I love that voice. It's not for everyone, though. Also, Samus with the clear indication that she's pissed off that she missed her opportunity to defeat Ridley. But he's actually pretty tough right now. A bit too much for Samus. So it's probably good that Ridley didn't decide to immediately try to defeat her. Because he would have. That was the grapple beam. It's cool, and I love that you actually activate the grapple beam through your left arm instead of the arm cannon. Because the 2D games and all the Sakamoto Helm games all decided that it has to come out of her cannon, like Super Metroid. But it coming through her left arm is so cool. Oh, wow. Got really damaged there. Anyway, gotta activate this elevator. Access approved. Oh, whoops! Explosion of convenience! Well, somehow that explosion, unlike all of the other ones so far, has made me lose all of my power-ups. It's not explained why, it's just super convenient for you to get a ton more power-ups when you'll eventually go into Talon 4. Now, I mentioned before that Metroid Prime takes a lot of inspiration from Super Metroid. This station is basically much like the Sarah station in Super Metroid, you know? Also, a room is depressurizing. Depressurizing complete, thank you. I was pretty sure that in the original release you had to scan the thing to actually have it depressurized, but whatever. Yay. These explosions don't make sense considering we're in the vacuum of space, but let's ignore that for now. We need to pursue Ridley. Tracking on enemy target has been lost. Ground-based recon required. Begin landing sequence. And this is a great stopping point for our first episode of Metroid Prime. It really, really is. But, you know, we'll watch this cutscene. It is another cool cutscene. A classic. You know, except for the really low resolution leaves. For those wondering, they were that bad looking even in the original GameCube release, but you don't care because of the atmosphere that seeps through. Design-wise, the cutscene is really good, and no amount of low resolution things will stop you from enjoying it, in my opinion. Yay. This is a safe spot. We saved. And that's pretty much it. Okay, let's get it out of the way before I end this episode. There's a scan jump that you can do in the original release that involves you scanning something that's far away and doing a dash jump. To do a dash jump, you basically, only in the original release, you scan something or try to scan something or lock onto something, and then you hold in a direction, left or right, jump, and then release the lock on button so that you then get a huge boost, you know? And that allows you to go right up there real quickly and real conveniently too, and go into that room back there that has the space jump, and that allows you to break the game in half. It's still possible to do this sequence break even in the trilogy release, I believe. But it takes a little bit more talent and a different setup that I'm not aware of. So we're not going to do that. And we're going to stop this video right here. I hope you've all enjoyed this so far, and all have a very nice day. See you next time.